Are you tired of getting beat by the Elite Four at least 1,000 times before you can finally beat the champion out of luck? Well, today I'm going to be going over the best team that you can use to beat the Final Four and the champion. And I use this team myself to absolutely sweep the Final Four and the champion to show you guys that this is the best team. Now, first things first, I want to give a shout out to XZen as he and I built this team together, and I think it would be unfair if I didn't give him a shout out. Alright, so the first thing that I quickly want to go over before I show my gameplay is the builds for all the Pokemon. Now, of course, I have 2 shinies on this team. You don't have to have shiny PvPs to do this. These were just the only ones that I had available for this video. So to start off, we had Greninja. He was kind of bad, but it's okay. So 31s and everything, missing special defense, and we went 252 speed, 252 special attack, and 6 attack. He was holding a focus sash, so now we have Lucario. He was holding a life orb. He was 31 in everything except for speed, which he was a 4. He had 252 speed, 252 attack, and 6 HP. Now we have Abomasnow. He has Icy Rock, which kind of boosts his Snow Warning ability. And then he had 6 attack, 252 special attack, 252 HP. And obviously his IVs were all really good except for special attack, but it was only missing 2. So now we have Dragonite. He was holding the Lumberry, and he had all perfect except for attack, which was 30. And he had 252 speed, 252 attack, and 6 HP. Now we have Talonflame. Talonflame had leftovers. He had all perfect IVs except for special defense, 252 attack, 252 speed, and 6 HP. Now finally we have Gengar. Gengar has the Gengarite and the ability Curse Body. Now he had 31 IVs in everything except for attack, making him perfect. And he had 252 special attack, 252 speed, and 6 HP. So now that we got that over with, let's hop right into the gameplay. So while on my way to fight the Elite Four, we run into our rival Tess for one last fight. But, of course, you know, I had to make some very quick work of her team because I was eager to test out my team on the Elite Four. So, I head right in to challenge the first member of the Elite Four. So, after almost destroying his entire team, this is the exact moment that I realized I forgot to teach Greninja the move Dark Pulse before the battle. So this meant that I'd have to switch out and I'd lose a tempo and take damage with another Pokemon. But that didn't stop me because I still ended up beating the first Elite Four member. So, after healing up my Pokemon and finally teaching the move Dark Pulse to Greninja, it was time that I head into the next room to fight the second member of the Elite Four. So, after making quick work of the second member of the Elite Four, there was only 3 more people to beat, the 2 others and the champion. And I knew at this point that this team is unstoppable. So, once again, I healed up my Pokemon and I made my way into the next room to challenge the third member of the Elite Four. And this was one of the moments where I got very scared because I missed my Meteor Mash and almost got wiped out by the Terrakion with 1 hit. And then, by some miracle, Terrakion missed his move and I managed to get my Meteor Mash off, 1 hit KOing him. So, aside from that little scare, I did really well and wiped out the third member of the Elite Four. So, after I healed up my Pokemon, I moved on to the fourth member, the final one before the champion. Now, this was the second time I got really scared, because I didn't realize because of Indeedee's normal typing, she was immune to ghost type moves. So I thought that my Gengar would get wiped out. Thankfully, Gengar was able to push through and wipe Indeedee out with some poison type moves. Now, after finishing off the fourth member of the Elite Four, it was finally time that I faced the champion and proved that this is the best team to beat the Elite Four. So, after healing up my Pokemon and mentally preparing myself for the challenge that was ahead, I walked into the room ready to face the champion. Now, this was the third time I got really scared during this challenge, because when he sent his Rotom back in for Landorus and I used Blizzard, he somehow managed to survive with 1 HP left on his Rotom. But somehow, the hail managed to come in and save me from having to deal with his Rotom, one of his biggest threats on his team. And finally, after 30 minutes of battling, I finished beating the champion, proving that this is the best team to fight the Elite Four with in Pokemon Brick Bronze. Now, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please subscribe and use my creator code that's linked in my bio. Subscribe or else I will slime out both you and your bloodline.